What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. And in this video I'm going to be sharing my opinion on the New Year's banner and the units on that banner. So these units actually got data mined with the Gunthra update, so we did know about them and we just got the trailer for this banner today. So this banner has got the seasonal units. The first one is Azura, and this is absolutely crazy because she is a flying dancer. She couldn't do that in Fates because if you reclass her, then she would lose the ability to sing, and this is pretty crazy. So her weapon is pretty nice. It has got Drive Res and Drive Defense 1 built into it, which is pretty good for defensive support. And then she's got Sing, and for her slot B skill, she's got Earth Dance. Now, +5 defense isn't really too good because you can always just have Fortified Defense or something like that in slot C. And for slot B, the best skill for dancers and singers is Wings of Mercy or Escape Route. And then she's got Hun Flyers, which is pretty good, and previously Halloween Noe had that, and she was extremely hard to pull, but Azura is going to be much easier to pull compared to Halloween Noe. And Hinoka also has that, but Hinoka is extremely rare, and she can only appear as a 5-star unit. And their stats were also data mined, so I'll be showing that as well on the left side. And Azura basically has a lot of speed, and that's pretty much it. All other stats are pretty average. Her attack is base 30, which is not really too much, so she cannot really hit very hard with that. And then she has got pretty low bulk. Her res is even lower compared to the other two forms of Azura that we have in the game. And like I said, she only has speed going on for her, and if Fire Sweep Axe gets released, then she could be a decent poking unit with that because of her high speed. But as of right now, her default weapon is pretty good. Provides good defensive support, and as a dancer you definitely want to provide support to other units, and Sing and Dance are such invaluable skills in Fire Emblem games that it doesn't really matter how good you are as a unit. Those skills alone just make you such a good unit and an excellent support unit. She can also run Slaying Hammer or Hammer Plus if she decides to run Triangle of Depth, and that way she can slay Effie's in Arena, and Effie is an extremely common unit in Arena, so that's another role that Azura can do if she decides to run that. She doesn't really have a legendary weapon like Performing Arts Azura, but this Azura is still pretty insane because of her mobility as a flying unit. And being a flying unit, it also means that she can run Guidance, Sacred Seal, and Guidance on a infantry or armor emblem team is gonna be pretty good because you could just teleport right in front of Azura with Guidance, and then she could sing you, and then you can attack some unit. So with Guidance, she's gonna be very annoying to face in Arena. So Azura is definitely the best unit from this banner because of the fact that she's a flying dancer. Hopefully they do not release a horse dancer. That would be too insane. It would just break the game. And that's her skill set and her stats. So let's move on to other units. So she's gonna be taking out this blue mage. And then we have got Prince of Soup, Takumi. Pretty happy to get a Hoshiden unit. I really like Hoshido more than Nar. So he pretty much has a Slaying Dagger, but it's a seasonal weapon. Hopefully they can release actual Slaying Dagger in future because it's pretty useful for units like Felicia, Matthew, who rely on their specials to do any kind of damage. And after combat, he can inflict -7 defense and -7 res to enemies within 2 spaces, which is really good. And his special is Moonbow, which is pretty decent because unless he's plus res IV, then he does not really fit into the criteria of any other special. And he has got attack res bond 3, which is actually pretty good with his stats, as you can see on the left side. He has got decent above average res, and it's definitely usable with attack res bond. And if you decide to run something like distant defense, Sacred Seal on him. His slot B skill is Bow Breaker, which isn't really very good skill on him because he cannot really act as a Brave Lyn bait in the enemy phase because of his pathetic defense. Sure, in the player phase he can double her, but Brave Lyn is so easy to take out in player phase. The main problem arises in the enemy phase when you have to bait her, so Bow Breaker isn't really very good on him. And looking at his stats, he's definitely the best offensive dagger unit in the game with a solid offensive line of 34 attack and 34 speed. He can definitely run a very good poison dagger set, and he also has pretty decent res and 40 HP, which is quite respectable. So he can also act as a mage bait if you decide to build him like that, and you can definitely run something like Guard on his slot B to prevent Quicken Pulse Moonbow Reinhardt, and then maybe run Kitty Paddle or run Distant Defense. That's something that you can do with him. So overall, he's looking like a very good dagger unit. So he's gonna be proccing his moonbow. Now keep in mind, none of these units which they show in the trailers are level 40. As you can see, this Takumi has got 35 HP and the actual Takumi at level 40 has got 40 HP. So just one thing to keep in mind, because people seem to think that these units which are shown in the trailers are level 40. And then we have got Camila. Completely robs Hinoka or potentially Ryoma from their place. And a lot of Ryoma fans like me are definitely disappointed. Even Hinoka would have worked out. Just more Hoshiden seasonal units. If you're gonna be giving us Fates and Awakening seasonal units, then at least just distribute them and have all kinds of them. So here she is, and she is a sword flyer, which is pretty good. She's the 5th red flying unit in the game. So her weapon works like Azura's, and it's pretty good. And then she's got Draconic Aura, once again a pretty decent special for her. She does not have 50 attack by default, but not really too bad. For her slot A, she has got Speed Defense Bond, which is actually an amazing skill for her, and it allows her to reach 40 speed unboosted, which is amazing, and 36 defense. So she can definitely take a lot of hits, and she's definitely a very good candidate to run Io Shield Sacred Seal on. And then she's got Ward Flyers. Only Minerva had that previously, and it does stack up with her weapon because the boost from her weapon is a spur bonus, so it does stack up with Ward Flyers. So it's basically a spur 4 to 5 flyers if you combine that with her weapon, which is honestly pretty good. Now looking at her stats, she just outclasses Pala. The only thing Pala has got over her is her availability, as she can appear as a 4-star and a 3-star unit, so it's easier to build up a Pala to plus 10 merge if that's what you're going for. And Pala has got little more magical bulk, but Camila has got a better offensive spread compared to Pala, and she also has better physical defense, which is really important for a melee unit. And Elincia, I guess, does outclass this New Year's Camila in terms of offensive power, but Elincia cannot really take a physical hit to save her life, so that's where Camila comes in. Elincia, of course, has Amity, which is a legendary weapon, so she is gonna be the better offensive unit, but overall, as a balanced flyer, Camila is actually pretty good for a Flyer Emblem team and can definitely take some hits from archers if you run Io Shield. Her 2 best weapons are gonna be Fire Sweep Sword and Wood Out Plus because of her high speed, and she can function really well with those 2 weapons on a Flyer Emblem team. So that was Camila. Now I know that Intelligent Systems want some plot, they want 2 big things, but Hoshida has got a lot of those things as well in Kagero and Orochi, so they could have put Kagero or Orochi. It would make sense, like Kagero is filling in instead of Ryoma. It would make sense because she is his retainer, but then we got Camila. This is not really a Hoshiden New Year's, even though the theme is very much Hoshiden, because we've got Azura. She's technically a Norian princess, but she lived in Hoshido, so I guess she gets a pass. But Camila, no, Camila does not make sense with the Hoshiden theme. Like, look at the background of this battle. It's from chapter 6, I think, from Fates. So this is Camila. She's gonna be actually a pretty good flyer. So Azura is definitely looking like the best unit from this banner because of being a flying dancer. And then we have got Camila and Takumi, who are also pretty good. So we're gonna be getting a new Paralog chapter. So this is the first seasonal banner, which has got only 3 units. So far we have got seasonal banners with 4 units. I'm definitely not complaining. It's actually really good to have a 3-unit banner because you have more chances of pulling the focus units compared to the 4-unit banners. So that's pretty good, and it's gonna last for a month, which is amazing for people who want these units. Now Corrin is not on this banner, and I'm gonna be talking about that. So on Twitter, the official Fire Emblem Heroes page, the Japanese page, explicitly said that a special hero is going to be given out as an event reward. Now, they just said special hero. They didn't tell us it's going to be specifically Male Corrin. So Male Corrin could potentially be that special hero. People are assuming that, but we still do not know. Intelligence systems have been really unpredictable as of yet, so we still do not know. But since they said special hero translates to a seasonal hero. So it could be New Year's Corrin, because looking at Corrin, he's not actually as good as all of these units. he's basically a Leon with more defense and less attack, and a slightly more res. That's pretty much it. And his skills are also not very impressive. Dual rally skill is pretty good, but other than that, it's not really too impressive. And his weapon also has the same function as Camilla's. But still, if he's gonna be a free hero, it's gonna be really nice, because we do not have too many free-to-play archers. We only have Varian and Clarice, and I would really like another free-to-play archer that I can use in my free-to-play guides. So there is a possibility of Corrin being free. We do not know it for sure, but they kind of have implied that with that tweet. And you can find the link to the tweet in the description down below, and you can just look at that for yourself. And the Twitter fan page for Fire Emblem Heroes has also translated that, so you can also check that out. So it's gonna be amazing if Corrin's free. They should definitely give us some free seasonal units every now and then to keep the interest of players, because we have got a lot of seasonal banners as of yet. So that's why it would be pretty awesome if they could give us those seasonal units for free every now and then, in every couple of months. So this banner is definitely not as insane as the winter banner, but still it's pretty good. Has got solid units, and Flyer Emblem does receive 2 new units in form of Azura and Camila. Azura is definitely going to be very good unit, because not only she is a dancer, but she also has her own flyers. So if you want to make a Flyer Emblem team, this is the best chance for making one, actually. So that is gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please be sure to leave a like. It helps me a lot, and let me know in the comments what you think about Corrin, if they're gonna be giving us Corrin for free or not. They have pretty much implied that they're gonna be giving us a special hero for free, but we do not know for certain if it's gonna be Corrin or someone else. And if you haven't already, then please make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss out on more Fire Emblem Heroes content, which I'm gonna be uploading in future, and I'm definitely gonna be summoning on this banner. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.